You get to get the full backstory. I didn't even know the pieces, but I always wanted since I came home from the feds, baby. I'm sitting here today with my son's host mother. This was his mother when I couldn't be. She's going to introduce herself. Tell them who you are.
I'm Megan Canizares.
Clock it, clock it. So today we're just going to bring you guys abreast because a lot of people want to know the story behind Markell Washington.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you because, baby, I was in the feds. Yes, yes, yes. However, seeing the success today and everything, I've always wondered, like, how did he push through?
hmm
There had to be some missing pieces and God angels that was there
A lot.
shielding him and surrounding. So I just want to know, like, a little bit about how you met him, how you came
hmm
to, embrace him and things like that.
Oh, he's embraceable. He's very
Yes,
embraceable.
yes.
But no, my girls were at CGA, Coastal Georgia Athletics cheer with Markell.
Brunswick, Georgia.
Yes. And they were little munchkins at that point, and Markell just was a positive light that shined bright for all of the kids at CGA.
Wow.
He came walking in at level 4, which is impossible.
Oh,
So he was self-taught in your yard.
yes,
So
right out there.
yes, so he would be backflipping and so forth in your yard.
Mhm.
And so when he came in, my girls were on level 1, and he would just be backstage every competition, like, yes, Hannah, yes, Abby, and cheering on the whole teams, every level, every little kid, all the way on up.
Wow.
And so he just shined already.
Y'all heard that. He shined bright like a diamond. So to give y'all a brief synopsis on that, Markell was about, I want to say, I don't want to lie on the age. I don't remember how old he was. Probably about like 14. But I remember when him and Libby, that's not her name. Y'all know me with names, but she came down to the house. And I think she was going to CJ. He was like, Mom, I want to go to gymnastics. And I was like, how much is it? And when he told me, I went down there and I talked to the people. I would say, baby, wait a minute. That's in the budget. We got this. In the next month is when the feds came.
Yeah.
And they seized my account and everything. And all I knew, I was like, in that moment, the choice I had to make, and I don't know if he remember this, it had to be CGA or his braces. Because my son's teeth was throwing up gang signs. And I was like, he's not going to walk around like this. So what if you know as a mother, you wanted that for your kids. So I chose the braces. But he was like, I'm going to get out here, I'm going to teach myself, and I'm going down there. So tell me a little bit.
Yeah.
So tell me about once he came in, you guys saw him, and then when you found out about his struggles or his story.
Yes. Well, we my girls just loved him. We right away. And so once we knew that he wouldn't be able to cheer the next year because they couldn't afford to sponsor him again, that's when my mother and I said, well, we're going to fundraise for him. And my mom gave him his first $100 check. He used to cheer barefoot. He'd come in and he was just out there on the floor barefoot all the time. And so we didn't realize the need. And so I said, well, we're going to take care of your cheer season next year. We're going to figure it out. We're going to fundraise for you. And so my mom gave him $100 check, and he ran with that $100 check right into Mylin's office, and Mylin had been holding a pair of shoes for him.
Wow.
And so,
thank you, Mylin, God. Thank you if you're watching this.
So then she gave him his pair of shoes, and he ran out and put those things on. And then we had a lemonade stand for him.
Yeah.
And so we started fundraising for him. My girls had a lemonade stand with their little friend Ginger, and we had raised like $500 and a lemonade stand. And so I called Markell and I said, listen, I think we could get you more money if you come out and flip for tips. So
Flipping for tips. Flip for tips.
so he did. We picked him up, and he came out, and then he started doing backflips, and people would just be giving him a $20 bill because he'd be on concrete. He was
Yes.
on the asphalt
Yes.
roads.
Tell me y'all had my baby on some shoes then.
Yeah, he had
He
shoes
had a
on.
dinosaur feet no more.
He
Okay,
had
go ahead.
shoes
Go ahead.
on. So anyway, all the cheer moms. There was a whole slew of cheer moms who
Yes.
just wrapped him up and helped him through. It was a community effort. And then we brought him to St. Simon's Community Church.
Wow.
And Tanya Barbie is a lady there who was working for a United Way program that went through the schools called Communities in Schools.
Mhm.
And I talked to her one day about Markell. I was just wanting to make sure he graduated.
Mhm.
So she helped me get him into Communities in Schools
Mhm.
through United Way so that there was an extra layer of support to help make sure he did his
Yes.
homework, that he was getting everything done in school,
Yes,
because he'd be
yes.
at that gym until 10 p.m. every night. So
Consistent.
we just want to make sure
Dedicated.
that
Yes,
besides
yes.
flipping, that he was studying
Yes.
and that he would graduate. So, and I was blessed to be the only one there at his graduation. So Hannah and Abby really wanted to go, and he had
Yes.
given his tickets to some other people who did not show up.
Yeah. Mm.
But Tanya Barbie was there behind stage with him, and so he was concerned that no one was there for him. But I was like, yes, tell him I'm right across. I'm going to see him come across, because they had a silent arena, which was ridiculous. They wouldn't let us scream and cheer. But I was like, tell him I'm going to be right there across.
And you all, and all of this, today was my first day getting this picture.
Mhm.
The picture's gonna come right up here, y'all, right up here. But I was at Tallahassee Federal Prison, and we're talking 2018, I believe it was 2018, I think. I'm gonna look on the invitation because I'm not sure. But I had somebody promise me that they'll take pictures or whatever they see, because they had a child graduate. Never seen them, never got. But today,
And you'll have more coming.
I got surprised. And baby, when I tell y'all. So yes, that was so grateful. I was super excited for that, very elated, because I had never seen it and I wanted to see it. So going through that, now you got this little kid, you took him, making sure he graduated, and that was because when a parent is missing, oh my goodness, we still need, when they say a village.
Absolutely.
And I can't thank you enough.
No,
And to Ronnie, Bobby, Tina, all of the rest of you that came together for my baby.
Everyone, the whole community.
Thank
And the
y'all.
church, St. Simon's Community Church, and I know your church in Brunswick as well, because I asked him for his birthday, what do you want for your birthday dinner? And he said squash casserole. I'm from up north. I had no idea what squash casserole was. And I was like, is that something your grandma makes? Is it like, I didn't know if it was a family recipe that I was missing. And I was like so nervous to make squash casserole for him. So I went to the store, and I had allrecipes.com on my phone, and I'm pulling up all these things to make squash casserole for him. And he said, no, ma'am, someone from church makes it on Wednesday nights. So he would go to the church in Brunswick.
It
on
definitely
Wednesday
wasn't my
nights.
church.
Yep, he went. He found.
No, it
that's
wasn't my church.
I'm
We had
saying.
church,
I'm
probably.
saying he had. I mean, there was not one village. There was so many villages.
When he asked me to make it, and he told me, I didn't even know about recipe.com and the rest of them. I'm like, well, I can cook. I got this. Made it and forgot the crackers. So I just had all cheese and squash.
You know what?
The first time.
Yeah, it takes.
Now I have
takes
mastered
practice.
it.
It takes practice.
But
no, and so we did his birthday dinner, and if he needed to go to the doctor, we took him.
Yeah.
And he actually he broke his ankle at a cheer competition in Orlando, and he was staying with us in our hotel. And so, but he knew some other people that were there, so they actually had brought him to get crutches and so forth after the competition. They came back to the room, and I was like, oh my goodness, because he wanted, his goal was to cheer on a world's team.
Wow.
And he told me that there was a coach that was gonna pay him to come cheer. And I was like, Markell, I was paying a lot of money in cheer fees for both of my girls. I didn't know boys have an advantage in cheer. Like they actually do cheer for free often at the world's level because they need them to support the girls.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm going to have a conversation with this guy.
Yeah.
You know, if
that was in South Carolina.
That was the one in South Carolina.
I think I briefly heard about that.
Yes. So he broke his ankle, and then tryouts were going to be coming up. And I said, you can't go. And he had defeat just on his face. I said, listen, I'll never make a promise to a child I can't keep.
Wow.
But I said, if we took him to physical therapy every week. And so we took him to physical therapy. I'm like, if you do your whole program of that, then I'll drive you up to South Carolina. Wow. I said, so let's call Coach Randy Dickey. He was his coach for Cat Daddies. Mm-hmm. And
Cat Daddy.
Yes, ACX cheer gym in South Carolina and Columbia. And I said, if you heal, then I will take you up. And I'll get you there. Wow. And I said, I promise. So we took him through and now his ankle still looks like a cankle, y'all. Like I've seen it, and it never did heal fully. I think he was flipping without me knowing. So anyway, on Father's Day that year, I took him up to Randy Dickey's house in South Carolina with another cheer mom. They had a truck, so we put his little moped that a 707 group had gotten him to get to and
Wait,
from
I got to
cheer.
tell him about the moped.
Yes.
Y'all, how the moped came in place.
Yes.
Markell used to be at CGA all night until like 10 p.m. Yep. Remind you, my home in Brunswick was literally
very
about
far.
18 minutes. So y'all can imagine.
In the dark.
Him on the moped. Black as he is, on the moped. But she ran out. Tell him how you ran and got all the stuff.
I made sure he had everything reflective that he could possibly have to make sure he was safe on the moped, because I was nervous about the moped. But so he had a way to get to and from cheer when other people couldn't drive him. But then we brought the moped to South Carolina with him.
Wow.
And I said, he's coming up there with just a backpack and this moped. And I said, he had a room at our house, and he would never hang up anything in that closet. He stayed over. We'd do Spanish homework or have dinners and breakfast, and I'd drive him back from St. Simon's to Brunswick for school. And he'd stay for 3 nights, and then he was a little nomad. He would come and go and never hang something. He'd iron. He's a good iron. He's good with an iron. He'll make sure his shirts and everything is nice and crisp. But anyway, so so I said, we'll get you up there. So I talked to Randy Dickey, and I was very protective because Markell was bad at confrontation. He can't handle confrontation. So he's improved a lot. But so he ended up, when I called Randy, he said,
hold on, let me hold that piece. Let me. So drove him up there.
So I drove him up, but before I drove him, I had a conversation with Randy. And I said, listen, if I bring Markell up to you, I need to know that you're not going to give up on him. I said, because he can't handle confrontation. And I said, he's going to come up there with a backpack, and that's it. And I said, so I need you to promise me you give him the full year, because as I was moving Markell up to South Carolina is when we were moving 4 hours, 5 hours the other direction down to Florida.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm not moving him 10 hours away and having you give up on him if he can't handle a situation.
Yes.
So Randy says to me, let me tell you about me. He says, My mom was a foster mom.
Wow.
And he said, and I have a chaplain for this gym.
Wow.
And I have helped other kids, boys, become men.
Wow.
And my goal at that point was to get him away from all the cheer moms that were supporting him and always taking care of him, because he needed to learn how to fend for himself.
Yes.
So I got him his first bank account at
Yes.
SunTrust Bank, and he memorized the number before we left the parking lot, which was pretty funny. I put $100 in there,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "Now you can't go below 100."
Yes.
I said, "You keep this as a baseline."
Yes.
Of course, he did, but that's okay. Learning experience. But I was like, "Okay, we're gonna get you. We'll get you up there."
Wow.
Because Randy said, I have a chaplain for the team. I'm going to teach him how to make money for himself. And so on Father's Day that year, I took Markell up right before we moved south. And we walked into Randy Dickey's house, and he had a piano, and Markell just went straight to the
Wow.
piano, sat down, started singing. And Randy showed us, he did all the cheer music for international, for world's teams.
Wow.
And everything. And so Markell ended up being humbled because Randy had him tumble for him and try out. And he said, "We can fix that." And I said,
Wow.
and Markell was like, "What? What do you mean fix my tumbling?"
Yeah.
But he did, and he improved, and he taught him how. He started doing cheer hair. He started doing jumps clinics so that he could make money.
Wow.
So Markell used to sit at all the dinners after a cheer competition, and he never asked anyone for food. He never asked anyone to pay for his meal. But of course, we were going to make sure he had food. So all these years, he never asked, but we were always providing. Someone was always providing for him. And when I went to his world's competition that next spring, he almost gave up a month before the competition. Wow. Because he got in a fight with one of the coaches who was his roommate. And he called me and he's like, "Mom, I can't do this. I'm quitting." And I said, "Markell, you're not quitting, because this is your dream and you're 1 month away from your dream. Is it worth that? Is it worth quitting, or are you going to follow through and finish and accomplish something you've been wanting to do for years?" So the next thing you know, Hannah, Abby, and I show up at his world's competition, and he's talking to this guy and laughing in the middle of this restaurant at the All-Star Resort here in this area, and at Disney. And he said, "Mom, guess who that is?" He said, "That's my coach." And he paid for his own meal. He pulled out a $20 bill from his lanyard. And I lost it because I was like, look at him paying, supporting himself. And he held his head up high. He was able to look people in the eye, because I used to ask, I used to demand, like, look me in the eye. Let's talk. Let's get through this. So he sat there. He got through that confrontation with that coach, ended up having a stronger rapport with him, making money, supporting himself, and he went on stage and killed it. We were just so proud of him, and I almost missed it because I went to the wrong arena. I kid you not, Hannah and Abby and I were sitting in the front row waiting in the wrong arena at the Wide World of Sports. And I'm like, my son's coming up next. My son's coming. And then it was a different team. And it was a different team. And I was like, he's going to be coming on any minute now. We got up, which you're not supposed to do, in the middle of a routine going on stage, and ran out up the back stairs, across the way.
How did you guys figure out you were in the wrong stage?
I was like, I'm like, he should be coming on. This is not the right schedule. We're in the wrong arena. And I was freaking out, crying, and they weren't going to let me in because they were closing it down because right after Markell's performance was all girl teams, and the lineup,
Wow.
Gabby Butler, who he's friends with, so was in the next. She was going to be coming on next.
Wow.
So the line to get in to see her perform was huge. And so I went to this guard at the side door and cried, and they let me in, and we ran down the side stairs as he just came on stage. And so we were running through the crowd. So we got to see him perform,
Wow, wow,
and
wow.
made it out the other side when he came out. So we
Mm.
saw him perform at Worlds, and so that was part of the ACX connection where he met a few other influencers in the early days, and Jack and all of them.
Yeah.
And so Jack and all of them came to visit us in Florida with Markell. And I saw Markell really studying from them, asking them how to become an influencer. And it was all the timing and when you post, and it was just incredible. But yeah, he did it all on his own, and
Wow.
he had right connections
Wow,
and
wow.
right people. But I remember I was in Russia in 2016, I guess it was. So 2018 for the World Cup. 2018. And he was singing at St. Simon's Community Church.
Yes.
So he called me and he said, "Mom, I'm going to be singing at church." And you could finally live stream it. So here I was in Russia watching Markell sing on stage back in St. Simon's. So I said that was his first international performance, was on the stage, and I still have some of the video from that.
Do
I have like pictures of the
send me a
words
clip
on
of
this
that.
of the
Send me a
screen
clip of that.
of him singing at St. And I was like, I'm watching you
Yes.
in the middle of
Wow.
Russia right now.
Wow, wow, wow.
And I would travel for work, so I'd be in the Dominican Republic, and I would know he was singing at church, so I would just live stream church. And so
Wow.
so before he was an influencer, he was on. I was watching him internationally anyway.
Clock it, clock it, clock it. You guys, I really wanted to share that. It's so much more, but this is just a tip of it.
Just a glimpse.
And to be together for Christmas.
Yeah,
And
I'm
she
so
came
grateful.
and we started. Listen, it was a pleasure.
No, it's a pleasure to be here. Like, I'm so grateful for you. And when I first met her, I was like, I told my girls, I said, "You wait till you meet his mom." I said, "Now we know where he gets it all." Now we know where he gets it all.
And he's such an inspiration. He's such an impact.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to inspire anybody out there that might be a young mother. My story may not be your story. I had to go away to federal prison for 5 years, a mother of 6. But you don't give up on your dreams. You don't give up because you never know who's watching. You never know who's sitting. You never know when your ram in the bush is coming. So don't give up. Inspire, continue to empower within everything that you do. And moms, when God put a ram in the bush in your child life, don't be that stick. Oh, it ain't my. I'm happy for his village.
You know what? He was loved. That was when I met you the first time. That's all I wanted to tell you was he was loved, like by us, by so many. And every time he had an accomplishment, it was like we took him to audition for America's Got Talent.
Yes.
So we drove him up to Savannah, and let me tell you, I don't know how he didn't end up on America's Got Talent. They missed out.
God has something
But
bigger.
let me tell you,
God has something bigger.
when he came out of his audition, every single contestant was like, "Hi, bye, Markell." Bye. He had made his mark without hitting the stage. He had already left his mark on so many people in that auditorium.
That's him.
And we're like, of course he did.
That's him.
Of course he did.
Well, I thank you so much. I love you.
I love you. Yes.
And you guys will be back again later with more.
Yes.
So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.